Hi, welcome. So today we're going to talk about the LP15 on how we defibrillate, dump the charge, synchronize cardioversion and pacing. So we're going to start off first with defibrillation. So we can recognize on the monitor right now we have a patient in VFib. We've gone through the pit crew CPR and we've identified that we need to turn around and shock this patient. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and make sure the machine is on. Go to Energy Select, which is my black button at the top here, and I can adjust my dual settings using the black button, or I could come down here to the speed dial and use the dial. So we're going to go back down to 200 dual settings. Now we're going to go ahead and charge. Now we're going to make sure that the patient is clear, nobody's touching the patient. I'm clear, you're clear, we're all clear. We're going to go ahead and discharge the shock by holding the red button down. Now, if we're in the same scenario where our patient actually converted, so now they're in VFib and our patient converted to something different, we'd have to dump the energy. So let's go ahead and charge back up again, and we're going to use the dial. So now we're going to say our patient has converted to something and we need to dump the energy charge. So we need to keep our fingers away from the orange button, come straight down to the speed dial and just press it in. And then we'll notice that the energy did not discharge to the patient, that it went back to the machine, back into the battery. So now we have a patient who's in unstable VTach, or unstable wide complex tachycardia, and they meet the criteria for cardioversion, synchronized cardioversion. So first of all, we have to locate the sync button, press it and hold it down, and we should see a marker on the QRS complex, as you can see right there. Now we're going to go ahead and charge a dual setting. So we're going to go ahead and energy select. So here we have chosen 100 joules. Now we're going to go ahead and charge the machine, making sure that nobody is touching our patient, that they're all clear. And now I'm going to go ahead and hold down the orange button. It's really important to hold it down and keep it down. So as you've noticed, we delivered the shock, but we no longer have the marker on the QRS complex. So every time we want to cardiovert, we need to turn around and reapply the sync button. So I press the sync button, and now you can see there's the marker on the QRS complex. So in this particular instance, we're going to go ahead and charge the machine to the correct joule setting, and we're going to go ahead and dump the charge as if our patient converted to something. So here we can see our patient converted to something else. What we do is press the large speed dial and dump the energy back into the LP15, into the battery pack. And then we see an NSR on the monitor with, still have a synchronized marker on there, but we did not dump the energy into the patient. Our next patient is in a 3rd degree heart block, and they've met the criteria for pacing. So we're going to turn around and have our pacing pads placed on the patient, turn on the pacer. Our machine defaults to 70 paces per minute. We could change the rate up or down using the selector button over here or the speed dial, but we want to start around 70. Okay. Now we want to turn around, make sure we have our marker on the QRS complexes. We're going to go ahead and set our current. And we're increasing our milliamps. We can use this switch here, or we can use the dial again. So what we're trying to do is to get the pacer spike to line up with the QRS complex. So we're increasing our milliamps. Now this machine requires quite a few milliamps to work with this rhythm generator. So there we can see we're getting electrical and mechanical capture at 85 milliamps. We can turn around and press in the button to clear the screen, but we'll still be pacing. So now we get to see a 3-lead view of the actual pacer spikes. From there we should be checking with the patient to make sure the patient's radial pulses match the machine. We set it at 70, so it should be at 70 with the patient. If not, we can go back up to the current, increase milliamps as appropriate to make sure the patient matches the machine. If we'd like to take a look at the underlying rhythm for a moment to stop the pacer, just hold down the pause button for a few seconds. Now we can tell that they're still in a 3rd degree block. So now we have a print up strip of a patient being paced and of the underlying rhythm.